What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. On today's video, we're going to be going over some graphic settings in Modern Warfare 2. That way you can get a higher FPS and not lose those gunfights, all because you got a little FPS. Before we get started, I wanted to let you know that I do live stream daily and I get dubs with subs all the time, so make sure to stop by and say what's up. So for display mode, you're going to want to go full screen exclusive. This is going to reduce your input lag. Now, I know some people like to go full screen borderless, that way they can go to another screen and look at whatever's on their second monitor, but for the best performance, you're going to want full screen exclusive. This is all common sense. Your display monitor that you're using, whatever graphics card you're using, and now your refresh rate, you want to make sure this matches whatever your monitor is. I have a 240 Hertz monitor, that's why it's on 240. If you have 144 or 60, whatever it is, make sure it's correct. You don't want to be running 60 Hertz on a 240 Hertz monitor. Also, select your display resolution. I'm on a 1440p monitor. Go ahead and select 1080p if that is what you have. Dynamic resolution, you're going to want off. What this is, you set a target here for whatever frame rate you want to hit, and it'll reduce your resolution if you're not hitting that target, which could look really bad if it reduces it by a lot. And of course, it's going to give you a good frame rate, but you don't want the resolution dropping in the middle of a gunfight and it doesn't look as good. It could cause you to lose gunfights, so just keep this off. For aspect ratio, just leave this at automatic. VSync, gameplay, and menus, you want both of these off. If you have them on, it could help with your screen tear, but it's going to give you some input lag, which is no bueno. For custom frame rate, I have this set all the way to the max. It's not like I'm hitting 300, but I could technically put it to 240 since that's what my monitor is. I just have it maxed out in case it ever gets to that. You're right. Menu custom frame rate, this is when you're in the menu. 120 is fine. You don't want to go too high on this. You're just in the menu. You don't want to overwork your computer while you're just hanging out in the menu. Autofocus is when you have it minimized, running in the background. You can have it low because you're not looking at it. For display gamma, 2.2 is going to be good for a gaming monitor. If you're playing on a TV, 2.4 would look better. So for brightness, I have mine set to 55. I like it just slightly brighter. That way, if someone's hiding in a dark area, I can see them a little easier, but this will be preference. Focus mode, you would want off unless you're on a widescreen monitor. As it says, it'll just put a black overlay on the sides. For high dynamic range, we're gonna have this off. Now, under the quality tab, we're going to set our render resolution to 100. Sometimes the game, when you start it up, it might not be in 100 if the image looks bad, kind of like it shows right here in the photo. Make sure to put this at 100. Sometimes it automatically changes itself. For upscaling sharpening, we're going to select the fidelity cast and set this to 75. If you do want it to look more sharp, you can go up to 100 or even lower depending on what your preference is. I have it set to 75 right now. For anti-aliasing, I have SMAA-T2X, and then anti-aliasing quality, I have it on low. Now, this is for the jagged edges as it says here. So if you see jagged edges around areas and it looks bad, you can go up to normal, but this is going to reduce your performance by a lot. So test them both out and see which one you like more, but keep in mind, you're going to be looking at your FPS to see if it's going up or down by a lot. For the texture resolution and anisotropic, I have it set to normal because I want it to look nice, decent enough to play. Now, of course, you're going to use up FPS, turning it high. It shows you here, it has a high effect on your VRAM. So if you're stuttering, having issues, go down to low and then very low and see how your frame rates do. So sometimes if you have an older graphics card, you might want to turn these down pretty low. For nearby level of detail, low. Distance level of detail, low. Clutter draw distance, I have on short. That way, this is talking about the foliage, rocks, various things. So if people are hiding in, bushes and stuff, I want this on short. Particle quality, I have this on high. It doesn't take too much. You see the effect here is low, so I have it on high. But if you really want the extra FPS, it's a little bit, you can go on low. So we have particle quality level low, bullet impacts and sprays on since it's a low effect on your CPU and GPU. Shader quality is low, tessellation off, terrain memory max, on-demand texture streaming off. That way you don't lag since this is going to be downloading things in the background as you play the game. So if you don't have the best internet, you definitely want this off, but it's going to take away some internet. So let's turn that off. Now, if your gold camo looks horrible, try increasing your shader quality to medium or high and it should fix it. Streaming quality set to normal, volumetric quality low, deferred physics quality off, water caustics off. So shadow map resolution very low, screen space shadows off, spot shadow quality low, spot cache low, particle lighting low, ambient occlusion off. Now shadow really takes up a lot of FPS, so you really want these low. You do like a little bit of shadows, I guess you could turn it up, but keep in mind you're gonna use up some FPS. So screen space reflections off, static reflection quality low, weather grid volumes off, NVIDIA reflex low latency off, depth of field off, world motion blur off, weapon motion blur off, and film grain 0. The grain is gonna look, you definitely want this 0, you don't want it looking all grainy. And the weapon motion blur, I mean, even this, like look at this one here, the weapon world motion blur. Imagine trying to find someone in this blur, it just doesn't make sense to have any of these on, so keep those off. The field of view you want all the way up to 120, that way you could see more on your screen. ADS field of view you want affected. Now weapon field of view you want wide, the weapon looks smaller. Of course you want it to look smaller, that way you have more space to see enemies. Third person field of view you want all the way up as well, and vehicle field of view default. Now first person camera movement and third person camera movement, you want both of these on least. By default it's at 100, that way it's not moving and shaking around when things are going off like grenades and things. This will definitely help. Third person ADS transition, you can leave this as third person, this is a preference. And default spectator camera, if you've ever played like Knockout or Search and Destroy, by default you'll be on the helmet camera, where when you're watching your teammate you're looking from their helmet point of view. This is a preference, some people like that, but the normal one would be the game perspective when you're seeing what they're seeing as far as in first person mode. Now last thing, you want to go to your interface here and scroll down, go to telemetry, go to show more. Right now I have all on. I want to see all this. This is all the stuff you see here at the top of the screen, so my FPS, latency, packet loss, etc. You can go here and customize it, select custom and select what you want. I just have all on, but if there's some things you don't want to see, go ahead and check it off. Well guys, if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button. Also share with a friend that could find this useful. Also leave a comment down below if you have some settings that you're using that might help everyone else out here that I might have missed. And last but not least, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I look forward to seeing you guys on the live stream. Peace.